Okay. Okay, hi. How are you? Have you guys seen Ready Player One already? Like, who saw Ready Player One? Did you like it? Okay. So I have this ritual with this kind of huge movies that get out and are shown in IMAX that I'm sitting in a fifth row and in the middle of the cinema, and then I just get completely immersed in the story, in the experience. It's because there is like no peripheral vision when you're in the fifth row. It's like the perfect spot in IMAX. And it's kind of hyperreal. So what is hyperreality? It's when the virtual worlds seem equally real as the real world. And it's actually what they get in Oasis in Ready Player One. But for us, it's like whenever you're completely immersed in an entertainment of any kind, when for a moment you just forget about the real world around you. So, I'm Kuba Matyka. I'm immersive experience director of a little studio named MELT. It's pretty little, it's just two of us. And I'm responsible, in fact, for the business side, for animation, for direction, for designing, and a lot of other cool things. In fact, I can be whoever I want because it's my own studio, and just last year I was called VR director, and before that I was called creative director. Yeah, here I'm just a director. I'm going to talk about how to design immersive experiences. I'm going to use my case studies and some failures and some epic wins to show how we got where we are, from motion designers to immersive creators, I guess. And I'll share just enough know-how to show you that you should and you can help us define the language of immersive entertainment of the future. But let's begin with the basics. What is an experience? Everything is an experience, like vacation, cool experience, Disneyland, awesome experience, a date, great experience, and unboxing a new iPhone. All of these are really good experiences. And when we learned that everything there is experience, it was kind of a revelation for us. It really helped us in real life because you can just adjust all of the stuff that's happening around you to your own liking. And from design point of view, it's probably one of the, I don't know, the most important things, besides that everything should have a purpose. So everything is an experience. And this is what our studio does. We create immersive experiences for brands. I'm going to show you the showreel. Okay, so we didn't always know we design experiences. We just thought, for example, oh, a huge screen. Let's make something awesome for a huge screen. Or a Coca-Cola conference. Let's just drown them in the bubbles and the motion design stuff. So we started as a motion design studio, but we always loved the new tech. Like, for example, we used Kinect a lot for, I don't know, 3D scanning, or for example, we did this projection mapping where you could play with Kinect to just, I don't know, hit the monsters on Halloween in the windows. So this kind of stuff, we always loved that, and we always went further, go outside of our comfort zone to reach for the bigger projects. And we did some pretty huge projects. And this is one of them. This is, looking back, it's one of the first projects that we really designed an entire experience. So it was kind of a unique and memorable experience, actually, for us, for sure, but for the audience also, because it was this hidden technology thing. I'm going to show you how did it look like. It felt pretty alive. So basically what it is it's a screen made of fabric. The further you go into the fabric, the elastic fabric, the further you pushed, the more interactive it gets. Like, it feels the power of your push. And it was made with Kinect, so pretty basic maybe stuff, but really imaginative, I guess. So it was just there. It was on this exhibition, and it was just waiting for the interaction. It wasn't explained or anything, and people just went there and tried it. And so what happened? It was really crazy for us to watch how people did it, and it was one of the first experiences that we had when people reacted with our work in such way, because earlier it was just watching the stuff, or sometimes maybe clicking or tapping on an iPad. So but the most important thing we learned there, it's to hide what's not important, because when you're building an experience for an audience, you don't have to show them tech. It's distracting. You shouldn't show them anything that's not related to the experience. We found out that in Disneyland they have this similar approach. They hide everything and they only leave the experience they want to show. So let's fast track to a couple years later. We're doing virtual reality too. We love VR. It's like a new medium that you can simulate all the real experiences from the world, but also you can create completely new worlds, and that's what's most interesting for us. Of course, today's technology, maybe holds the key to hyperreality, but it's not there yet. But as a medium, it has a huge potential. Yeah. So. After a couple of years of experiments, a couple of smaller commercial projects, and a lot of R&D, we created our first branded interactive multisensory experience. Because I didn't say that before, but we create branded experiences, just marketing experiences for brands. And we were commissioned to come up with an idea to design and create a branded experience for Play. It's, I guess, the second biggest mobile network in Poland. So the client wanted to create VR flying game for a conference, for a biggest conference in Europe, or the second biggest conference in Europe, gaming conference. It should be inspired by the wingsuit jump and targeted at gamers. So it had to be a part of this huge booth that, over 80,000 people just come by during the conference in 3 days. And this project, as almost any VR project you do, and kind of every new technologies project, was a lot of R&D. First, we researched and tested many flight options. This is one of them. It's kind of ugly looking right here. But we checked a lot of options, like laying on a table, using a virtual jetpack, or being kind of hanged from ceiling on this climbing gear, I guess, to check out what works in VR for flying experience. And they wanted a really fast flying experience. And nothing what we wanted work until this happened. And this is fairly easy setup, because there is, if you guys have tried VR, yeah? Who tried VR? Who tried HTC Vive? Awesome. So there is this Vive controller, which we use to check how people steer this thing, and it worked quite well. So you could just relax flying over something, but it was completely not in a. It was bad for events, because everybody could just fly off, fly a different path, and it really wasn't the best for the subject. So we had just 2 weeks to finish, and we had to start over. And we thought about another idea, a completely new idea. And we wanted to put everything cool in VR back then. It was 2 years ago. And everything that gamers love, and their favorite stuff. So what worked in VR 2 years ago? Of course, shooters. So we thought, okay, let's let them shoot something. And okay, let's bring some nostalgia. Yeah, Stranger Things is popular, so let's bring Space Invaders. And we have one huge problem, and it's the problem that's VR famous for. Of course, it's not it's not so obvious problem right now, because we have Vive and stuff, but it was back then. And try explaining to the client that no, you won't get sick. It's like completely hard thing to do. And we mixed all of this, but we somehow managed to keep a balance so people don't get sick. And of course, we enhanced the immersion. Like we did you're gonna see. A paragliding harness. That was the thing that let us get people immersed in the world, because it was enough to take their feet off the ground, and they felt like flying like crazy. Of course, we did some kind of controlled fan system, and this happened. I'm gonna show you a video here right now.
Play Invaders, a thrilling 4D VR experience which has more in common with Disneyland attractions than a marketing game it really is. Play Invaders, an awesome combination of what's best in virtual reality, including flying, shooting, fast-paced action, exploding enemies, and a lot of fun. You will feel emotions, thrill, fear, excitement, euphoria. You will have reactions, shouting, screaming, crying, cursing, and going all the way crazy. Play Invaders. Professional paragliding harness makes you go, and you feel like you're actually flying. Custom-made wind system lets you feel how fast you go in real 4D. Play Invaders. It's so immersive, you'll want more. Just like these people. 1,200 people in 3 days. Play Invaders. It's for everyone. Target audience, old people, kids, and even girls. Play Invaders, loved by professional YouTube gamers who make real money from playing games on YouTube. Play Invaders. It even won a real award. Play Invaders. Brought to you by the award-winning studio that won even more awards and did awesome VR for even more brands.
Yeah. So this was really exhausting experience for us to build it, because the latest version, like we created in 2 weeks in 3-person team in Unreal Engine 4, and but it was really rewarding because you saw how people reacted, and it was for 3 days non-stop. There was a line, and people reacted like this. It was crazy. We just stand there and watched it all day long, and we figured out that okay, how to design stuff like that. Well, when the previous stuff didn't work, we went back to basics and we just thought, okay, conference is kind of like theme park, so we can do this like a theme park. And we just designed it like a Disneyland attraction. So that's why it works so well. Well, we kind of walked in an audience's shoes, and it was pretty awesome. Next thing I want to talk about is motion design in VR. We did a couple of projects, but this one was probably the most interesting. Littlestar is a little company, not so little. Okay, I'm going to show it first. So you can see it's a very simple little motion design piece. It's 360. And for the first time you see it, oh, remember, you're not seeing it on the screen. You're just, in VR for it. So for the first time you see it, you see just this little star that breaks the room that's all around you, and starts showing you the stuff that's behind it. So. And when the first time you see it, you notice something like that, maybe. For the second time, of course, you notice there is a logo on the end, so that's the most important thing. The next, you started noticing just how these little triangles or little pyramids work and what they do all around you. And it was kind of designed for repeated viewing. So, because how many times you look at logos at the beginning, and our main reference from the client was just a Netflix logo, but we wanted to make it use of VR, make it felt just what VR can do, and the story was pretty simple. It's like it's a title or star is a key to entering new worlds. And then you go to the menu, and you can just choose all of these immersive videos, because they are a company that showcases 360 videos. And right now, we're going to get to, I think, the most interesting project, because I left the most time to talk about it. So here what it is. The story is pretty simple. To this day, there is only one Polish astronaut.
Na pewno go zabolało, bo to chyba jest normalne. Gdybyś dzisiaj miał okazję lecieć, czy byś dzisiaj poleciał?
Okay, so these 4 guys trained crazy for 5 years. The tests was, you know, something crazy back then, to train to the spaceflight and, you know, be the first Polish guy who did the spaceflight. You know the meme, Poland can into space. Yeah, it can. So everyone knows how spaceflights look like. It's like this Hollywood-infused experience when you are, you know, it's really intense. You're flying to space. Yeah, you're Tom Hanks or other super kind of guy, and you're flying to space. But and before we got the job, we thought that too. And we had these simple assumptions where we wanted, in VR, we wanted to be an astronaut. We wanted him to feel like the job, like he could experience the job, the experience for his own. And we wanted people to feel the rocket launch and the stress of it. We wanted to build a suspense of, you know, flying to space until the climax, and then do this kind of a, like in the music, a drop, and then, you know, relax in the weightlessness, watching the sunset from the orbit. And we actually fairly, not very often we do projects that somebody has an idea for. Most of the time we are asked to design, to come up with the idea and and also to create the project. But that time, the marketing agency came to us with this awesome idea to like make the documentary about this guy and let him relive his dream he had for 40 years. And we really wanted to win this job because we were in the race with Platic Image, which is the biggest Polish company doing VFX and stuff. And we really wanted to win this. So we convinced the client doing this in one evening. We convinced the creative director of the marketing agency, who actually happened to just had a hotel just outside our studio. And we use these free assets. This is all of free assets. This is the most famous cosmonaut in Cinema 4D, I guess. And all of this is Beeple stuff. So we designed it in one evening and showed him, also in the evening. He's crazy busy. And we got the job, so it was crazy. And then we had to research everything there was about this spaceship and spaceflight. So this is the Soyuz 30 capsule. And it's so small, like, you have no idea how small is the place for the astronauts. Like, they have like, I don't know, volumetric maybe 2 meters for both of them. I don't remember exactly, but it's kind of like this. And we also learned everything about physics that go into this stuff, and in Russian, of course, we didn't read it, but and about the weather. And later we discovered that the spaceflight isn't what we thought it was.
You see Yuri Malenchenko there on the left, Sonny Williams there on the right. That toy that is hanging there was given to.
Oh, they're flying already. Yeah, they started. So
serves as the flight's
you know,
talisman. That will be the first sign that the crew has reached orbit. Right.
Yeah, and it looks like that all the time. Like, they are sitting there for 5 hours waiting to launch, and then there's just, I don't know, 8-9 minutes to get into the orbit.
All looks good.
Really interesting, intense stuff. We know.
90 seconds. Engines of section 1 and 2.
One cool thing,
stages,
it's just this toy hanging from the
operating
ceiling.
nominally.
Yeah, every spaceflight has it. They are showing how the G-force work this way. Okay, yeah.
110 seconds.
Yeah, enough.
Roll.
So after this, we kind of know that we had to make it a little more magical than this, maybe, to have an interesting experience. Oh, here's a little stuff I like to show to just like a metaphor for creating simulations. Like, when you're doing simulations in VFX, you always try to do it like a real thing. So how do you do a tornado? Like this, a set of fans. And in virtual simulation, you do exactly the same. You just, you know, place a couple of fans all around, and you make particles do stuff like this. Okay, next, research. This is what the panel looks like. It's not really that interesting. Let's go. But that was kind of the only thing that we knew about the spaceflight, because all of the other references we could find in the internet looked like that. So you can't just really see anything in there. Oh, we were pretty lucky to get to see the spacesuit. Yeah, it's this spacesuit. Okay, so we're gonna go back to the basic for a little second, and you probably know this best, but this is classic film frame. And this is what you have to do 360 frame. Like, you have to build the world all around you. It's a lot of work to do. And everybody knows how a VFX looks like. Yeah, so you always can use framing to, show the action, to direct the idea, to direct the story that you want to show. And for example, this scene. Awesome scene. Okay, fairly easy scene to do. It needed this many people on the set alone. And imagine doing this in VR. Like, damn, you have to do a lot of things. And this is kind of for every VR production. It's gonna take an immense processing power and stuff. So get ready. Okay, more R&D. This is the spacesuit, and this is how astronauts sit. So, okay, they sit pointing upwards. How do you make it natural for the viewer in VR who's always sitting there? How to make the viewer sit in the proper position? Like, this was the crazy stuff that we have to think about. We wanted people to feel the rumbling, the intensity of the launch. So we tried a lot of these frequencies and other, like, we just wanted to know how far can we go, so people are not sick. Like, will people get uncomfortable? I think they should get uncomfortable during a rocket launch. Like, it's crazy. Stereoscopy, another crazy thing. Like, in cinematic VR, when you're rendering VR, when you use pre-render VR, stereoscopy is one of the most important things, because when you're doing a picture like this, and you have just the average distance between the eyes set up in the renderer, you would feel like somebody puts a finger in your mouth, I guess, or in your eye, because he has this huge hand and he's just here or here, and you would feel awful. But change the distance between the eyes a little bit, or 10 times or 100 times, and suddenly you feel like you're on this guy's hand. So this is a little tip that you can use to feel like a giant or stuff. But we had to really balance it really, really well. Oh, another video. This is what our animation looked like. This is the whole flight trajectory. Oh. We actually had to animate the world around and leave the capsule still outside of these spinnings because of some octane limitations, but it's not really that important. But I love this video because we made them to show the motion control guys in Korea how to recreate our capsule movements for the robot. Okay, turbulence FD here. I like this one. This is awesome. You wanted to? You're gonna look at it later. This is a teddy bear, and we really wanted to, like, everything we could. We wanted to do using dynamic simulations, and mostly in Cinema 4D. So I really like this. This one photo where it showed that the whole path he made during the flight. It looks pretty, I guess. And to make it feel more alive, to make the animations feel more alive, we did like this crazy amount of detail. Like everything on this control panel was linked through espresso to something else. Like the globe was always spinning like it should. Here we can see which frame are we in and other stuff. We had to get creative. So, you know, espresso, awesome. Right now, I'm going to show you how it all looks at the end, the finished product, I guess. But I'm going to show it to you how I recorded it from my head. Oh, that's what we do to make them sit properly. Okay, I forgot, wait. And now how it looks in 360. Yeah, so the main challenges there was to make it feel alive, and we did this mostly by stuffing it. We put so much stuff in there, it's crazy, because when everything is so close to you, and it's not a normal case for VR, because in VR, in stereoscopy, you should be like at least 1.5 meters away from the stuff that's happening. We have all of this closer, I guess. And it was so close that everything was noticeable. So we had to do crazy amount of detail. And we did a lot of this nostalgic stuff, like this dog there, who just bounced his head like, you know, a bobblehead dog. It was popular in the 70s in our country. And we also wanted to extend the experience to be more than a spaceflight. Oh, not more than the spaceflight, but they got this big of a window during the spaceflight, and we got this big of the window during the spaceflight, so they can view everything, you know, the beautiful Earth. Couple of stuff we did, beautiful. But the most, besides detail, the most, I'm going to get back to this video. The most, the thing that challenged us the most was actually the VR direction. Like, how do you get people to notice the stuff you do? How do you get people to like be engaged in the story? It's a simple story, you just, you know, flying to space, but we wanted people to just feel like they're there, to immerse completely. So we did a lot of this stuff, like this finger pointing and something like that. And whenever we see people like watching this experience, like being in this experience, and for example, staring all the time behind the window, and then we say, okay, there were some pretty cool stuff going on elsewhere, and they go again, and they just can't notice everything during one viewing. So it's also designed for repeated viewing, but I guess everybody creates their own story in a way. Yeah, he had to fix that. And in the end, because we wanted to add as much magic as we could, because we wanted to feel magical and this amazing experience. So this is the moment of weightlessness. So yeah, here it's not a Samsung camera, but we could use it. And of course we're gonna do a selfie, like it's a Samsung commercial. Yeah, but it's a Zenith camera, so cool. We actually had to change every nostalgic thing for another, because we couldn't use a Rubik's Cube, we couldn't use any brand names. Everything that looked like a real thing, we had to change it and mix it with something else because of the Samsung's lawyers. And at the end, this is the stuff every user loves the most. We just did this out-of-body experience. So you're in this realistic setup for the whole flight, and then suddenly you just go outside and you can see this sunset from space, and it's really cool. Okay, let's go next, because we have to finish in a second. Oh, Easter eggs. Cool. This is my co-founder here. A couple more pretty pictures. And to sum it up, I'm going to show you the technical reel. Some of the stuff you've seen already, but maybe I forgot to say something, or maybe I forgot to show everything. So it's only 2 minutes. It's the thing that we're most proud of, like the comments from users. They all tell how how they love to show it to others. So that's really cool. I hope you just got these tips that I'm gonna sum up right now from the speech. But if not, you can just see it right now. So the most important stuff. What experience do we want to serve to our audience? Because it's really hard to choose. Like the technology isn't enough. The experience has to be special for them, and you have to know what you're gonna serve. Walk in the audience shoes. Like this is the most important. Like when you design and you wanna create an experience for people, you have to, for a minute, longer, for as long as it takes, walk in their shoes and just try to understand what are they doing and what would they want to feel. Yeah, so it's not only the tech. It has to improve the content. The story is the main thing. The content is the main thing, and VR is only here to help us create it in an amazing way. This is crazy important. Like when we didn't experiment on people, it was always failed. Like VR is a new thing, new medium, and you just don't know how it works. And every time you think it will be perfect for VR, it doesn't have to. Like I tell you. Yeah, and limitation can result in new possibilities. We did this in Play Invaders. We did this in Missed Spaceflight. You have to use the limitations like they were just, to really design this experience. And of course, it's a new medium, so we're gonna see where it's going. But I think there is some cool quote. It's very quotable here. Yeah, and I really believe that. It's a thing that we at MELT really believe in. Okay, hey, that's us. That's the selfie. And of course, shout outs to Maxon, who invited us here today. And here's my contact details. Questions?
So you mentioned some kind of robotics for the space experience. Was there any kind of VR chair or something?
They wanted to do this. I think they started, but we don't know where it went because it's in Korea, and we just didn't have any info about that.
Another question. You chose everything was pre-rendered, and you chose to make it as a POV of the astronaut. So in first perspective, you don't have 6 degrees of freedom, right? So everything is pre-baked, and if you turn your head, nothing happens.
Yeah.
And I think it's basically the most critical thing you can do in pre-rendered VR to make a POV. How did you think? How did it work out?
Well, how did it work out?
How was it? Did you really feel you're there, or was it a big problem that you were missing perspective?
Well, we thought about it a lot. We could choose to make it in real time, but on Samsung. So it would be like this, mobile game type of graphics. So we didn't want that, and we wanted to showcase the Galaxy as 8 screen, and it's amazing screen. So we wanted to do it pre-rendered. But our goal was to make it feel immersive. And astronauts don't really move. Like they're strapped really hard. They're sitting. So we thought, okay, they don't have to lean. Of course, they move. But in this example, for a space flight, it was cool because when you try the experience, you just feel like they're because of the world that's living, the detail and the story.
Did you use any special tool for post-production?
Nope. Just After Effects. Oh, I think we used Metal because it wasn't integrated like right now it is. Yeah. But we did a little post effects because most of the stuff we rendered in one scene in Octane in Cinema 4D, and we only added smoke effects later and flashlight.
How much people were involved, and how long did this take to run?
Oh, we did it. There was the two of us and one character animator, 2 3D modelers, and that's it. Oh, the sound was another thing. And it took 3 months to do, and about 2 to 3 months to render because we had to re-render most of it because of the lawyers stuff. Yeah? Oh, he loved it. It's shown on the documentary. He just waved his hands around, you know, stuff people do in VR for the first time. I think he saw some VR before because he was afraid to like look stupid on the camera, but he really felt it. Okay, cool. So thank you very much. I'm Kuba Matyka.